Good afternoon and welcome to the 2023 IHF Coaches Education Week, where leading experts throughout the world of handball will share their knowledge and experience. In 7 days, there are 8 webinars programmed for this week, so we can hardly wait to see what these experts will teach us in the next days. My name is Adrian Costello. I'm a member of the IHF media team, and I will be your host throughout the next week during these webinars. Together with our experts, we'll touch the most interesting parts and we'll tackle issues in youth coaches, for youth coaches, of course, and we will learn together very, very interesting things. To begin with, we'd like to let you know that all these sessions will be in English, like the previous ones, but we have translations available in French, Spanish, and Arabic. It's very easy to switch to your preferred language. There is the interpretation icon, the globe icon at the bottom of your Zoom app. Just click it, choose your language, and then you will hear your preferred language, of course, the translation for this webinar. All these sessions fall under the umbrella of the IHF Education Center, which is available at ihfeducation.ihf.info, and you can rewatch these webinars on demand whenever you want. Okay, in the first presentation of the IHF Youth Coaches Education Week, we have a very interesting guest, Marko Šibila, a master coach, which will present a very interesting theme, of course, talent scouting and the way to the national team in Slovenia, because of course he's Slovenian and he knows inside out the particularities of Slovenian handball. Marko, please, the floor is yours. We cannot hear you. You are still muted.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction, and hello.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, now I just have to start with sharing screen. Just a moment.
Just so you know, you can ask questions in the Q&A section of the Zoom, and we will answer. Marko will answer these questions at the end of the presentation. So we hope to have many questions for him, so he can explain a lot. Marko, please.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. So I hope that there won't be any too many questions, and that the explanations will be so good that everyone can understand the main points of my presentation. So the title of the presentation is Talent Search and Way to the First National Team in Slovenia. And then I add also the scientific supported approach. What does it mean? It means that we always try when we work with the young talents, with the young age categories players in the clubs, and especially on the national level, to use as much as possible scientific informations which derive from the different kind of researches conducted by our own people, researchers, or from other well-done researches from all over the world. Now the handball really made a great progress also in this way, so we can find a lot of informations which are scientifically approved, and that's why we can much more lean on this. And it is a solid base to make a good work with, especially with young age category players. So I will speak about the Slovenian Handball National Teams project, under 19 team, under 17, under 19, and under 21 team. So 4 different teams which we consider as teams included in this project. So I will just make a short introduction, theoretical. Since independence of Slovenia, have striving for the great international recognition in sport. So we always think that the sport is very important, and that the international recognition of the country should be always should always goes in hand also in this recognition in the sport. The focus was always both the top sport and the sport for all. Normally, I will focus on more on the top sport, even if we can observe now that the handball start to be also a little bit the sport for all. We are speaking about a circle of a life circle of the handball and so on. So it's also very important to mention that. So in Slovenia, sport games at all also started to play a big role in the competitive or top level sport. In ex-Yugoslavia, Slovenia was considered more appropriate for the individual sports, especially skiing. But somehow we also want to overcome this kind of prejudice, let's say so, this kind of assessment. So we want to play a good international role also in the sport games. And handball has always played an important role among sport games. So handball was always one of the most important games in the Slovenian sport. And already at the beginning of our participation on the international competitions, Slovenia were successful. So in '93, in 2 years, we won the bronze medal in the Mediterranean Games, beating the Egypt in this very important match, especially for us, because it was the first great success on the international podium. And then 1994, we already qualified for the European Championship for the first time. So it was the first team, Slovenian senior team in all the sport games which qualified for the big competition, and we were proud on this as a handball people. And then normally we started to create our own knowledge, both on the professional expert level and research level. I spoke a little bit about that before. So some important research projects were carried out. First, the typology of handball players, mainly focused on anthropometry and the motor skills. So we try to find out what are really modern type of handball players in that time. And normally then we follow also the development, but once again on the research level. Another important area of study was quantitative and qualitative aspects of the game. So we tried to find out the figures, so the parameters which occur more in the modern handball, then then we can put that into the programs and that based on this acquired knowledge. We were able to start making models of players, models of games, matches, and training. So that's why I mentioned that we consider that as at least partly as a scientific supported system. And then many excellent results so far on the senior level. Slovenian the senior team won the silver medal on the European Championship 2004, and then bronze medal at the World Championship 2017. And Slovenian handball team was 3-time participants of the Olympic Games. So that was a result. There were also many other good results, but this really stand out. Normally, if you want to be successful in the top categories, so in the senior, if the senior teams on the highest level of the competitions, then you should work well also with young age category players. So we always try to put a lot of attention on this. Today, I will in this presentation I will focus mainly on the men's hand, but even also girls would deserve the same. Focus, but obviously the men on the men's side we are much more successful. That's why I choose also the men's category. The main reason, of course, so it's this great competitive success. So it means that in recent years, I consider that term recent years as a 20 years period. So different Slovenian teams in youth and junior category on different internationally competitions won a lot of medals. I listed most of the most important results here. So 10 medals on different competitions were won. And that's why we also considered this project as a very successful project, because the results showed a long period successfulness of this and normally we will also try to keep this and to maintain the level of good work with young age categories. So first, this Slovenian national team project is from 4 different category players. So these regular national team selections are consisted from under 15 in the very moment that are the players born 2008 and 9. So under 15, then under 17, next generation born 6, 7. This generation, now you can see the photo here, some months ago won the silver medal on the youth European Olympic Games. It was again a great success, and then under 19 born 2004 2005, and under 21 born 2002 2003, which now finish in the very moment, and now normally new teams comes again, new ages comes again on the we will substitute these age groups. So you can see also here the main target from 6 to 15 years when we start and develop the players in the club are training and selection in the clubs, mini handball with individual defense, and deep aggressive zone defense. So we strongly recommend the coaches in the clubs that use these directions, these instructions. So from mini handball to individual defense, deep zone defense, and then with 15 years. We start this first selection. Goals of the system are, first of all, normally selection of the players. We try to find among the huge number of the players, we try to find those who really showed the best talents, so which are really appropriate to play the top level. So first selection of the players, then education and training. How to educate these players, how to train with them, and how to compete, to bring them to the top level. Gaining experience with international matches, so to play as much as possible international matches on the national level. Then bring players to the senior national team. It is the final goal. So through this project, through all these activities, we should bring the players to the senior national team, and they should be ready to play on the top level if they are going through this project. I put here also the approach, a human development centered approach. So we try really to use this kind of approach, so a human development centered approach. So we really focused on all things which are important in the development of each individual player, and normally teams as a whole. Okay, now first under 15 team. Its regional overview is consisting with, so activities are consisted from regional overview training, 4 regions. So we have 4 regions, and in each region, then we make a so-called regional overview training, where the coaches can send their players, and at the beginning we lean on the assessment of the club coaches. So it's up to them which players they send, and they have each month, for example, or each 2 months, they have so-called regional trainings where the best players from based normally of the assessment of their coaches participate, play handball, make some kind of exercises, and then these coaches responsible for this for each of these regions. There are one main coach who is responsible for everything, and then 2 coaches for each region, and then all together, then they make some kind of assessment of the possibilities of some players. So the objective is to review the widest possible range of players in a given year. So as much as possible, we should include as much as possible players in a given year. So they are still young. In this age group, is not so easy to completely assess their possibilities to be the top level player, or at least good handball players. So it means that it's better that we widen the league, open a little bit more, than to make too narrow or too soon assessment of players' possibilities. Then we also instruct the club coaches regarding players. Always on this stage is very important. We recommend that always with the players come also their coaches. Then we discuss about the different problems, about the strength and the weaknesses of the players, and try to instruct the club coaches regarding these things. Then we execute also a so-called collective camp once per year. 1 week, approximately 17 to 18 players are invited there. So from all regions, the best players are then invited in this, let's say, so first selectional camp, when they stay 1 week together, play, train, and also give the possibility to the coaches that then they can assess their talent a little bit more in depth. And we also here we make first measurements, so-called functional movement screen measurement, with which we can then find out possible weaknesses of the movement of the players, basically. The next team is under 17 team. This is the first age group where intention is to create a unique national team. So under 15 is regional. So just now and then we try to put together in this educational week, but otherwise that are regional teams. But under 17, it is the first age group where the intention is to create a unique national team. At the same time, it's reasonable to maintain also the regional teams divided into 2 or 3 regions. Now that we still have possibility to include more players. Now, normally, now if once the unique team is made, then there should be just a limited number of the players in this team. For example, 25, 30. No, but once again, also in this period of development, it's difficult to completely assess and to say now we will just work with this 20 or 25 players. So we try to open a little bit also with this regional sessions, to see if somebody is better than we expected, for example. Then the program of activities carried out in the annual cycle. So we have a so-called annual cycle for each national team. And this program includes the following. First, 8 to 10 one-day actions. Slovenia is rather small geographically, and we can make one-day actions. So the players can come in all parts of the Slovenia in a couple of hours with the car. So it's not a problem to perform these one-day actions, which may execute it as a full day. So it means 2 trainings per day or a half day. So just one training. So for example, Monday evening. So 8 to 10 one-day actions. Then 2 times 5 days preparation. 2 times 10 training, it means 20 trainings. One of these 2 actions can be also a so-called handball camp. Then we also have a so-called Day of Slovenian Handball, where this age group participate. And this is also the period of the first official matches, qualification for the European Championship, and the possible participation of the European Championships. So it means that this age group must already have a possibility to compete on international level. We don't want to press too much on the players, but still they must be able to be competitive. Now the training for the development of the basic motor abilities. normally we consider this part as a very important. So we recommend the coaches to put a lot of attention of that, and also during the national team trainings, camps and so on, we try to put that as much as possible. Also attention to development of the basic motor abilities. Coordination, speed, and agility. Then we use the means like work in coordination ladder, low hurdles, foam hurdles, drills to improve running and jumping basics, drills to improve running and jumping. Then basics of floor gymnastic, power exercise with one own weight. Different forms of push-ups, drills with partners, resistance, core and shoulder stability, shoulder mobility, elastics, balancing the strength of the all muscle groups, agonist and antagonist. We immediately recognize in young age categories a lack of strength, and also this imbalance of right and left side of the body. So we try to put a lot of attention to a lot of exercises also to balance a little bit these things. Then also somehow the weightlifting drills, but just basics without the load. So just the technique. In the technical and tactical training, we focused on in the set zone defense on 3-1. Or 5-1. Now in recent years, we focus more on the 5-1, less on 3-1 defense, with two variants. Players remain in basic position when opponents switch to play with two pivots, and players switch in 4-2 defense. And players should learn to play on 2 or even 3 different positions. So there is no strict specialization. Even we call them this senior national team. No, still we try to give the players a lot of possibilities to create their own knowledge on different positions in defense. Also, for example, in 5-1 defense as a mid or half player, and in the center player, or even the front center. So different positions that they can develop their skills on different positions, because it is very important that the players in years of development develop also these skills to play on different kind of positions, because we never know what will be the needs of the senior national team. So it means that the players, when they once come to the senior national team, they must be able to play on different positions, normally according to the needs of the senior team. But also normally now, if we speak about the under 17, it's also important that the players are able, when they switch to the under 19 team, to overtake different positions in defense. So no strict positioning of the player, no strict specialization. Then little more normally is focused on the position which could be the most appropriate for the certain player. No, it is somehow the task of the coaches in this team to assess now which player could be a little bit better in a certain position. Even there is no specialization, but still to make a little bit more focus on the positions when one can be the best. There has to be a special emphasis placed on the individual skills of defense. It is the most important thing. Less team tactic, just team tactic, just in the way which enable the players to collaborate. But then much more emphasis should be placed on this basic individual skills like stance. Especially we are trying to do a lot of this diagonal stance, then approach the attackers and stopping the attackers with the body and hands. We know now it's in modern handball, it's very important that the players are able to make a good approach in the deepness of the field, and to try to stop with the ball the opponents with tackling, but with the fouls and contacts which are in accordance with the rules, and especially also not to cause problems, health problems to the opponent. No pushing, no punches, no things which can be dangerous for the opponent. So we really try to focus on the clean game in individual game. It's sometimes not easy, but it's our aim now to follow this direction. Then how to cover the pivot, intercepting passes, how to get the ball as soon as possible without the fouls. It's also one of the very important parts of the programming in this age category. So we strongly also recommend the coaches that they constructed exercises in a way to allow training with a small number of players, 2-2, even 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, 5-5, at the various playing positions. So in the middle of the court and at the left and the right side, that the players can also spatially get the impression how to not just in this way how to make a good contact, or how to perform some kind of different actions in defense, but also to do it in the specific space where they will act. Normally, also in the tactic of the whole defense. In this way, normally, then many repetitions of the specific activity should be achieved. Now, once again, also in these young age group categories in general, but especially here, under 15, under 17, we strongly recommend that these exercises, especially in defense, where we have a lack of good exercises, must be constructed in the way that they allow a lot of repetitions. Normally with the good technique, with the good tactic, but again, it's also important a lot of repetitions, not just 1 or 2 repetitions, but many. Then attack versus set zone defense, individual technique and tactics, training of a typical attack movements, pistol movements, and shots for individual playing positions, different feints of and pass forms. So these players under 17 are still they have still a lack of good tactic. They have to learn a lot, not just train, also they learn. So it's very important that they learn and train a lot of these basic typical movements. Group tactics and technique cooperation between players on different playing positions, small group tactic, team tactics and tactics less. So in this age group, once again, the team tactic is always a little bit apart, so a bit at the side. So much more is focused on the individual and the group technique and tactic. But still, something should be done also in team tactics and technique. Passes in pistol movements, especially this easy but very important collaboration among the players in the small groups and also in the whole team tactic. So passes in the pistol movements in a sequence with the adequate movements before and after receiving the ball. So widening and narrowing position to have a good approach toward the defenders, and so on. So these basics should be learned in this period. Then changing of various playing positions with crossing, even without the ball, at various playing positions again, but that is somehow underpinned the previous mentioned individual and group tactic. Switching to play with the second pivot, also very important, not to learn how to switch with the second pivot. Then we start also to do something in tactic of basic normally tactic and strategies in numeric imbalance in the attack. So player more, player less, how to play, how to use these situations, you know, to be as effective as possible. Then counter-attack and fast throw off. It's the next phase of the game where we put really a lot of attention, because we consider this age group under 17 that they're very plastic, and how they will start to play, then they will also continue more or less. So we try to establish a good model of the game where counter-attack and fast execution of throw off are extremely important. So counter-attack is technically based on the strategy that outside left defender, mainly it is the mid or mid left, is always the center back, or mainly the center back. So this center back then can receive the first pass from the goalkeeper or from the teammate who get the ball, and he's then responsible for the development of counter-attack. So in the past we developed a lot of very skillful center back players in each of these national teams which I mentioned before, that they won the medals on the great championships. Were one of the players who were really able to do it, not just one, many times also many. For example, in team of the players born 88, 89, there were two extremely good center back players who then in the senior age category won everything. So they were Champions League winners, national team players on a good level. Dejan Bombač, who now play for years now play for the Szeged, Pik Szeged, and Stas Kube, who won the Champions League with Vardar. Now at the end of his career, he's in Montpellier again, play on a very top level. So these two players were always able to play in the position outside left defender or sometimes even mid. For example, in the previous generation, born 86, 87, there was a Bezjak who now finished his career. He played for years in Magdeburg, and he was able also to play at the mid defender. So normally, depending of the characteristic of the players, then the coaches decided on which position these players will play. But always these players should be, because they're very skillful. They read the game. They are very good. Even if in this first under 17 group, and then they are responsible to distribute the passes. Normally with certain instructions of the coaches, but there are some kind of right hand of the players of the coaches on the playground, and normally then also we try to train as good as possible a system of moving in length and the width of the playing court, how the players must run, how they have to undercover themselves. How they have to occupy the different positions then in an attack, and so on. So it is really very important that the players in this period, so under 17, they really train a lot of counter-attack, and then that they get this kind of abilities to play good counter-attack and fast throw off, then also in the next stages. And normally, they have to be able to play the extended counter-attack on the simple level, but still, so it is also important. Normally, though, the aim of this is to learn to play a fast handball. It is the main thing is in the senior age group, we want to play a fast handball with a lot of counter attacks, with a constant execution of a fast throw off, And if we want to get the players who will be able to play such kind of model of the game, then we should start with, okay, even before under 17 national team. But in this period, the players must really put a lot of attention to be good, and that they can transfer this knowledge also in the senior age group and perform it on the top level. Then we also involved theoretical education, providing information about the sport and balanced diet. It's very important. Many of the players in this age group have a lot of problems with diet, so they intake or too much or too few food and inappropriate food. So we start to teach them, to instruct them which food is good, what is not good, how to eat, how many times per day, and so on. So it is somehow their first information about that from the sports point of view. Then informing the players about the concept of dehydration and rehydration, information of nutritional supplements, both positive and negative effects and consequences of this, also very important, because there are, on the market you can find now a lot of these food supplements, and if the players begin uncritical to use them, then could be also bad consequences. So we wanted to give them very good instructions, informations, what is good and what is less good for their health and for sport achievements regarding these supplements. Then we try to make some kind of adaptation to a collective life during the preparation camps. So sports more mode of the life, how they can bring this time, how they can use this time when they are far away from home, for example. How they can build up the good relationships with others, with teammates, coaches, and other participants in their preparations. Then learning handball with the help of video analysis of the top players and analysis of their own training and matches. So we provide this kind of work. Certain time, daily time should be devoted also for the learning handball with the help of the video analysis. So players must get the impression how they can use the video analysis to be better, to improve their knowledge, skills, to assess their own good sides or less good sides, and to try to improve that. Then highlighting the importance of appearance of the national team of Slovenia. So we want to excite the sense of loyalty and responsibility, so kind of patriotism. And then, for example, in the senior team, there is no cancellations and such things. So we are proud because there are really a very small number of cancellations during all these periods of the national team participation. So players are always, even if they are not paid or are paid very, or there are very small amounts in the senior team, but there is always no cancellations, even if somebody is injured and so. But normally all the players are eager to play from the early beginning to the senior team. But normally we try also somehow with different approaches to excite this kind of good feelings. Then also handball rules, so theoretical. We start to invite it also the referees to come and to discuss about a certain topic which could be important for the players. Normally, the players more or less learn about the rules when they train and play without the book. But it is one of the things we would like to improve a little bit, at least on the national team level, so that also the referees contribute a little bit to better knowledge of the players, less misunderstandings about certain rules. It's also a part of the theoretical development. Then measurements once again. So in this, in each on each level, use the measurements, which is the somehow also in accordance with previous statement that we should make at least a little bit the scientific supported approach. So at each stage, at under 15, we just use the so-called functional movement screen. Easy we can assess many players in a very small time without a lot of expenses. Then under 17, under 19, under 21 team and the senior team use the same testing battery to assess the most important thing from the motorical and anthropometrical part. And then we also make some kind of assessment and give the opinion about the status of the players on different fields. So we use from 17 to 21 at least once per year. So it means 6 years in a row, the players who are considered as the talent players must come to the measurement. So it means that we have then six measurements in a row, and we can normally assess also development, not just the potential, but also development of the certain players. It's very interesting, and we are also very proud that we have a great base of this data. So really a lot of results. I think that now we have more than 1,600 players measured in this time. So normally with the repetitions. So more or less all the players went through the all six years measurements. So but it's really a huge base which can serve us then that we can easily assess and give the mark to the players concerning the certain for the handball important ability or characteristic. So normally these results also give us the possibility to make a better plan. If sometimes also we try to make some kind of also individualization. It means that if we find that the certain players are really that they have a lack of certain abilities, then we give the instructions to the coaches to give more even more focus of development, especially the problem is the strength. There more or less are the problems with the strength. Then on the field of anthropometry, more or less the problem is a lot of fat, too much fat in many players. So we try to during these years to improve their body composition also. But I already mentioned with a good diet, a lot of training, especially this kind of training which contribute also to diminish a little bit the body fat, which is not good. We do it with body composition with electrical impedance and the standard anthropometric battery with 24 dimensions are used. So both we try to do it both. A lot of reasons. No, we don't have enough time to explain everything, but when we assess the body, so the anthropometric characteristic of the players, we use both methods. So the measurements with this battery, and then the body composition or electrical impedance, when we get once again a lot of good results. And when we combine both, then we are sure that these results are good. Then on the field of motoric, we try to measure explosive and elastic power of the legs. So it's normally extremely important. We bring the platforms in the sport hall. So it is also our approach, to be as much as possible on the field, and to do these measurements during the training stages. We find out that it's much better than if we just always bring them to the institute, and then perform this kind of measurements. Here you can see the three different jumps, which then give us the counter movement jump, which then give us the complete possibility, to assess this kind of abilities. It's a counter movement jump, it's a squat jump, counter movement jump. And then at the end, drop jump with a certain height. So in this way, we can get once again on the current status of the players in a certain very important ability, and normally we can get also the developmental tendencies, how somebody start at 17 and how they perform in 21, and normally also for the players who then continue in the senior team, we can follow also their development in the next years. Okay, then the ability to generate a sprint speed, again, very important. Use the sprint times of 5, 10, and 20 meters with a laser. So we found out that the laser is the best possible method to measure the sprint ability, because then we get the continuum of the times, how through all the phases of the sprint. Also, I should say that we also develop the methods, the way how we execute some tests, to get the better results. Then the shot power, the shot power mainly is assessed by the radar, again, special radar. But sometimes we also made some kind of more sophisticated measurements, which give us more detailed biomechanical kinematics data parameters, which they once again enable us to give the players much more precise information about their technique. Here we use two different kind of shots. One is ground shot with steps, and the next one is jump shot. Simply, very simple. We are just interested on the shot power, nothing else, no precision, nothing else. Just this kind of ability. Okay, then the next thing, very important, is the measurement of repeated sprint ability. We use the 40 meters maximal shuttle run test with 8 repetitions and 20 seconds of the rest in between each repetition. So first time, second time. Then we also try to look at the quality of the turns, for example, as you can see. So the also result is very important. It depends a lot on the quality of these turns, but especially, with this test, we try to get the information about the players' ability to resist to the so-called anaerobic metabolism. So at times, normally, each repetition lasts 8, 7, even less, or a little bit more seconds, and the time is from the repetition to the next repetition a little bit less good. And from this, we can then assess one of the most important things now when we then try to find out how these results are influenced, how these results influence on the efficiency on the playground. We find out that this test is very important. So the players who are very good, you can see now two players who are extremely good also in this test, and they're also very successful on the field. And on the other side, the players who have problems in performing this test, they are also less effective on the playground. That's why we are all able once again also to give to certain information for the players how to train to be better and to improve the abilities which are important to be good in this test. Okay, then also running endurance. So if you consider this test 8 times 40 meters with 20 seconds of the break as a test which can basically be used to assess the anaerobic lactic abilities, then this is next test 30-15 is mainly used to assess the so-called aerobic abilities. So the players perform it once again on the handball court. They start with a very low pace, 8.5 meters per second, and then the best players are able to reach also the highest numbers. You can see now here here is in the middle is Gaspar Marguč, one of the most successful right wing, play now for years for Slovenian senior national team and for the Vesprem, very efficient, and he was always in all these tests. So this is what is also very interesting, that the best players who then finish to play for the junior national teams, and if they have good results in this test, they are almost all also very successful in the senior team. So it is results in this test can give us a lot of informations, and we can then transfer that to the players, and with a great probability, we can also give them we can also have the assessment who will be successful in the senior level, in absolute level, and who has less chances to be successful. And also now we use so-called expert model. So the results which we obtain, then these results, for example, in morphology, we put in the certain so-called expert model, which it means it is a computer-based approach. We put these results in a special program, and normally we constructed that. And morphology represents 40% of the whole assessment. So motoric 60%, morphology 40%. Now it is arbitrary assessment from the expert point of view, but still also we also use a lot of information from the different researches, and we find out that if we put 40% for the morphology, it's quite enough, and that the good performance on the motoric level is much more important than, for example, morphology. It means that from the morphology point of view, we can get very different types of the players, but if we consider motoric, then there should be powerful, they must be extremely agile, and so on. So the motoric is in the complete assessment of the anthropometric or morphological motor system. Motoric is more important, simply. So and then we also then elaborated each of the fields, from the height, arm length, leg length, body weight, body mass index, somatotypes, and so on. Put the different weights on each of these characteristics, and then we finally get the results for each player. So from 5, the best results, it means that the player who are over 95, who have more than, I don't know, body mass 86 kilos, and so on and so on. So these players have the best results, and then normally to those who have a little bit lack of these characteristics appropriate for the handball player. And the same is also then on the motoric part. We put in all the results and get back the assessment in this field of the motoric. So motoric skills 60% once again, and assessments. All the results are put it in, and the computer give us back the complete results and assessment, which then is normally further elaborated, and we try to do something with these results. The next team is under 19. It is the continuation of the under 17 team. The program of activities carried out in the annual cycle includes the following. So once again, 8 to 10 one-day actions, which may be executed as a full day, so 2 trainings, or half day of actions, 1 training. Then 3 times. So also the quantity of the trainings in this under 19 national team is raised up. So we have more activities. So here are 3 times 5 days preparation, or 30 trainings, in comparison with the previous generation, who has just the 2 times 10 trainings. One of these 2 actions can be also a handball camp. Again, in this period, players should play many also unofficial international matches. So under 19 players should be acquainted with a lot of information, what's happened outside the Slovenia. So to go out, not just with their clubs, also with the national team, to go out to play tournaments, to play matches with teams which play, for example, a little bit different, to get the information, impression how other play handball. So it makes sense to organize tournaments with 3 or 4 teams, especially we use these neighbor countries. But also sometimes, if there is opportunity, these teams under 19 goes in the I don't know, in tournaments a little bit more in other countries, not just in these neighbor countries, but this. For us, it's very important that these neighbor countries are very strong in handball, especially Croatia and Hungary, but also Austria. So we are close together, and we have same interests. So it's easy to make this kind of camps or tournaments. Then preparation camp before the qualification tournament, 3 to 5 days. So it is when this qualification tournaments for the European Championship starts. Always 3 to 5 days before the tournament, there is a camp where the players normally together with the coaches try to get the sport forma to get in good shape, and normally that on the qualification tournament try to get the as good as possible results. And then preparation camp for European Championship and World Championship, in principle, 3 times 5 days. So once when we are qualified, then in principle 3 to 5 days before the 3 times 5 days before the competition, the players should participate on these training camps. It is sometimes, especially under 19, have sometimes the problem because the competitions are in the period of their great school load, and many times players also try to excuse themselves because of these obligations, or try to combine some things. Especially this is the end of the secondary school. Sometimes it provoke a little bit problems. Okay, and at least once per year, the under-19 team should participate in the corresponding tournament abroad. So to go outside and not just to play the official matches, but to play also the matches, I don't know, a little bit far away from Slovenia. Once again, is aim to get these abilities to be out. And then measurement, once again, it is the same battery. So under 17, under 19, under 21 senior team has the same battery. Then where necessary, we also introduce the individual psychological measurements, personality characteristics, and cognitive abilities. Not too much, but sometimes we try to introduce also this, and also the team sociometry. Also, this could be useful. You know, sometimes we try to, especially when the coaches recognize some problems in this team homogeneity, then they try to get some information also from this field. We always have experts who can contribute a lot of this in this field. Also, ex-handball players who are educated in the sociology, and they help us to get some of these informations. In principle, the measurement is carried out once per year, as already explained, with 25 to 30 players, not more. So it is normally also the reason is also economical. We cannot afford ourselves now to measure 50, 60 players in one generation per year. It costs too much, and normally we have possibility to test with this battery 25 to 30 players in certain generation, in one generation. Then training for development of basic motor abilities. It is almost the same as it was in the previous period. Just we try to upgrade some exercises or some methods to put more load. Also, no, but still, no, the same methods more or less. For example, here in weightlifting drills, we just skip from the basic exercises without the loads on the basic exercises with a small load. So here players can be also a little bit loaded, not too much. It is once again a good assessment of the coaches who are responsible for this area. But in any case, now we consider these players maturated enough that they can also support some kind of load in the weightlifting drills. But especially the most important thing is technique of the weightlifting, which can then give the players opportunity to start to really train with weightlifting drills on a higher level, because they learn a lot about the technique. So with a good technique, then they can also be exposed to the greater load in this field, in this area. Then tactical training, set zone defense 5-1. Once again, with two variants. So in the first variant, players remain in the same position, just with some adaptations, with some variants. When the opponent switch to the play with second pivot and switch to the 4-2 defense, and players should learn again to play on 2 or even 3 different positions. Still no strict specialization. Little more focus on position which could be most appropriate for the starting player. And then in the attack versus set zone defense, in this period, players start to learn some more complicated attack patterns. Coaches can choose among prescribed possibilities. So in this system are always a lot of modern way how the players can perform a good attack patterns in the whole team tactic or a group tactic, And then the coaches can, according the characteristic of the certain generation, certain group, they can choose what is more appropriate, what is less. But normally they must also follow some instructions concerning that, not to choose I don't know, things which are inappropriate. And then this means also the more complex group and team cooperation. Then in counterattack, this transition phase are given great attention. So a lot of training time is devoted to counterattack and fast throw off again. So it's from the generation to the generation. There should be a lot of attention to this counterattack and fast throw off phase, because once again we want to achieve, and at the end. And in the senior team, the players who don't have problems how to play fast play. Then on the last generation, or last team in this project is under the 21 team, almost senior team players. If the players normally goes through all these phases, then in under 21 team, most of them are already the players who have a good role also in their club teams, senior teams. So it means that the best player who reach this under 21 team are very important players also in the senior club, the senior teams. We recommend the players that they choose the teams where they can train good, and that they have also have a good role in the team, not to sit on the bench. They must play. So if there's in a certain phase of their development are ready to play in the senior team, then they must play. And not just to train with the senior team and no play, just to sit on the bench. So it's very important, this transition from under 19 to under 21 is also very important from this point of view of managing how and where some of these players will play in the senior level. The program of the activities, once again, 8 to 10 one-days actions. It is also the system the same. So 8 to 10 one-day actions should be performed with 1 or 2 trainings. It depends from many things. Then 3 times 5 days preparation, so it means 3 times 10 training. One of these 2 actions can also be handball camp, then Slovenian handball day of Slovenian handball, preparation camp before the qualification tournament, 3 to 5 days, qualification tournament, preparation camp for a European Championship and World Championship, in principle 3 to 5 days, 3 times 5 days. It should include tournaments and matches with the national teams of other countries. So mostly in these 3 times 5 days, at least one of these periods are devoted to the tournament with other teams. At least once per year, under 21 teams should participate in the corresponding tournament abroad. So the team should find out the possibility and go out to make this kind of tournament. Then the training for development of basic motoric abilities. Once again, almost all the time the same methods. I will show now here one of the under 21 some exercises which corresponding to these methods, way of thinking, how we want to do it now. Forms, coordination ladders, agility of the players, and so on. So a lot. We really should want to put a lot of attention. Now here's only under 21 team, but the same methods, the same exercises should be executed on the perhaps a little bit lower level of the quality of the execution, also in the younger or previous teams. So this under 17 should start with this even before, and then just upgrade from the generation to the generation. Once again, because we find out that this kind of exercises can contribute a lot to the better skills of the players, also in the specific handball action. So it is not these kind of exercises are not chosen just because they're nice. No, I don't know, the players can do something, but because we find out that these kind of exercises can contribute a lot to the basic skills of the players, who are then responsible for the good execution of the specific handball elements. So this is the main target. No, the players are better in the actions which are handball. So this training should contribute to better execution of the handball action. So once again, a lot of different kind of exercises with upgrading. There are also a lot of theory and practice about the loading, the optimal number of the repetitions and so on. So, and you can see here also, I don't know if some of you can recognize the players who are now the top level players who compete in the best clubs, also in the Europes, and all of them now went through this work, this system, no, who then contribute that they really became a good player. Also, this training for development of basic motor abilities, once again, is considered as a very important, and we use it in all periods. So at the beginning, under 15 start, and then under 17 that make a little bit more in deep, under 19 even more, and then 21 normally on the real high level, because they're able to execute these exercises on a high level. And then I would like to stress also the weightlifting drills, exercises with an appropriate load, but individually, this load should be defined individually. Now, some of the players are maturated in this 21 years, they are maturated enough that they could be also exposed to a little bit more load than others, no, who, for example, is a little bit late in their development and they don't master enough good technique. So this individual assessment here is very important, that we can also individually, we can use individual approach to this development of the motoric. Then we put a lot of attention. Here is first stage when the players must put also a lot of attention to aerobic and anaerobic endurance training. Before, it is not recommended. We always say, if you have a players and with 15 years, 17 years, don't run with them without the ball. It's simply said. No specific exercises which aim to develop the so-called endurance. So endurance is important for handball, no doubt. But for the young age categories, we should reach all these targets also with specific handball exercises. Here, perhaps sometimes we must introduce also so-called high-intensity interval training and repeated sprint ability training. And normally now the coaches still are instructed, to use the different kind of handball training to improve that where it is possible, to use so-called integral training, where the ball is also inside of these exercises as much as possible. That's why also the exercises with repeated counterattacks and retreat into the defense are very useful also for the development of the endurance. Then proprioception training also for many injuries of ankles occurred, and then normally we try to introduce also proprioceptive training to make a better balance and better sensations of the players. Then some kind of functional training. Then technical and tactical training in set zone defense. In this age group, normal, because they approach to the senior team. I already said that many of them already, or almost all of them, already play in the senior teams, senior club teams. Some of them even in senior club teams who compete on the highest level. For example, I always remember Marko Šibila, who is one of the famous Slovenian players, who already with 18 years or even 17 years played in the highest competitions. With 18 years, he was already the member of the senior national team. So some of these players still play in the under 21 national team, but at the same time also in the best senior club teams, and some of them, even if we don't try, if we don't push them, no, if it is not necessary, but still some of them really show so great effectiveness. So they're so good, as already mentioned, Kautičnik, that it is naturally that they are included even a little bit earlier in the senior national team, already with 18, 19, 20, even rarely. There are very few examples, but still, no, the players in this age group should be able to play into the senior teams. That's why we choose here 6-0-5-1. So two defenses which are the most common on the top level. So most of the teams nowadays play 6-0 or 5-1. Again, with two variants. So we try to abandon the 3-1 completely, even if in the previous stages some of the coaches opted for this defense, but here it is just 6-0-5-1. Then attack versus set zone defense. We use the modern types of individual and team tactic, developing creativity of the players, variants inside the tactic patterns. That means that we try to give the players chances to develop their own initiative in the game, normally based on the previous acquired knowledge. So the players could be creative if they have a lot of knowledge. So first they have to learn a lot, and then in this age, so in the last junior national team competitions, they must be able also to be creative, to give some kind of individual contribution because of their special skills. I don't know, the possibilities they can show something special. And sometimes it is also very successful because the players need this kind of development, that they feel a little bit of freedom. Normally not too much. Without the system is impossible, but still they have to get a little bit more freedom. And especially in this group under 29, the players, the coaches should be a little bit less strict when instructing the players. So developing of this creativity is considered as a very important. And very important is, especially for Slovenian national teams, is to encourage players to perform shots from a distance. So we felt in the past the problems in execution these shots from the distance. It was a little bit also due to the inappropriate hate of the players, or sometimes, but also the model of the game was always considered as a model where there is a lack of or as few as possible shots from the distance, even if not on the international level. We can observe the same tendencies, so that the best teams don't perform too much or too many shots from the distance. Still, we need shooters from the distance. It is somehow the thing which should never finish. Good shooter from the distance is very important, and we must develop this kind of shooters. And because of the lack of the good shooters in the past, we try to do something in this regard, especially to encourage the players. You have a chance, just shoot. Don't hesitate to shoot. Try to do it. Okay, here's just some images once again from this 4-2, as I tried to explain you. And also 4-2, so from 5-1 to 4-2 is some kind of always transition to the second pivot, 4-2, or to remain in the same composition. Okay, then counter-attack, fast throw off. Now, as I already mentioned, it is one of the most important phases of the game. There should be a lot of attention. Players must carry out activities in this phase in high speed and also high control. Once again, if they went through all these phases, they must be able to get. So they learned the skills and the knowledge, which then enabled them to play in a great speed and highly controlled over this phase. And once again, it is the main principle also for the senior team, and the players who finish under 21 level, they must be immediately able. I already mentioned that even when they are in this junior team, they must be able to play in the senior national team. But when they finish, they must be ready to play. It means from the knowledge point of view, from the point of view of their abilities, how to play handball. They must be able to play also on the highest level. But it is the main target. At the beginning, I tried to explain it. One of the main goal is to bring the players from under 15 to under 21 and then to the senior team. So this and always we have to have to see this final aim. No, this is the most important thing. Not to stop on the milestones. To be just focused on the milestones. No results on the under 17. It is just one milestone, but the final target is the most important thing. So normally a lot of work needs to be devoted to the proper temporal and spatial perception of the play in counterattacks, spatial balance of the players' movements around the length and width of the court, timing by uncovering. The players must be very precise in this. The exercises should consist of different parts of the counterattack and also return to defense. So it means that always always must be put together, all these two phases. So one team is normally on the in counter-attack, another one in the quick retreat. So, and as much as possible, this kind of exercises then enable players to be good in a counter-attack. Many kind of exercises without the also without the defenders. With a good model of the execution and very precise and highly with a great speed and with a great control also. Measurement the same, so there is no differences as already explained. So 25 to 30 players also in this final stage, that the coaches can really get the information about that. Then theoretical information education, providing information about the sport and balanced diet. Again, it is a continuously executed task to provide this information to the players. Also in this age group, the players are very curious. They want to get to hear these informations because they already have some kind of career development, and they know already that this so good sport and balanced diet is very important for their achievement. They try to get the informations, and they're also thankful for this kind of informations which they get during the stages with the national team. Then informing the players about the concepts of the dehydration and hydration. Again, information on nutritional supplements, positive, negative, adaptation to collective life during the preparation camps. Very important also, we find a lot of problems nowadays because of these electronic devices. The players have have great difficulties to communicate to each other if they have a spare time. So out of the trainings and these periods of when they are together, when they're separate in the rooms, they don't communicate, and it's bad. In any case, you try to develop some kind of methods to diminish these negative effects of this modern way of life of young people. And then highlighting the importance of appearance of the national team of Slovenia, once again, as it started with 15-17, handball rules referee, again, very important. Continuation to raise awareness about the importance of individual training. So we try to give them instruction, use the individual training as much as possible. Now, it sometimes is a lack of training in the club. Sometimes you have problems with the coach. Don't use individual training. Try to get the information how to do it. If certain players need also information from the national team coach, he can get it, and also from many other from this handball community. So especially this individual training should be executed in the field of motor conditioning preparation or coordination preparation. Then theoretical explanation of the team game model and the model of the playing on each particular position, so that the players in this age must be able also to theoretically understand what they're doing on the handball court. Rules of the game, lecture on the importance of the rules and their implication in tactics and tactics. It's extremely important that the players are also acquainted with these informations as coaches. So the rules are the basics to execute anything on the handball court. Then deepen the understanding of healthy, balanced, and suitable for competitive and top-level sport. Health is extremely important, and the players must know that. I don't know, with smoking, with nightlife events, and so on. They will lose a lot of their energy, which could be dedicated for the better achievement in the sport. So also very, very important also understand the health, life. What does it mean if you injured yourself? first injury, and so on. Then raise awareness about the importance of the sport lifestyle, rest, avoiding alcohol, smoking, drugs, already explained. Familiarization and awareness of players concerning different kind of doping. Again, one field which is very important also in the handball. We had some problems also in the past, also now in these new generations. There are especially some kind of drugs which they are exposed in their normal daily life, and sometimes they cannot say no, and it could be also a problem. And normally we should, during the national team camps, really have a lot of give the players a lot of informations and try to raise up the awareness of the players concerning different kind of dopings. And informing players also of the fair play rules. Very important thing. We don't want that our players are recognized on the international level as a rough player, as the players who cannot behave well, and so on. So it's also very important, a very important thing now. Then learning of handball with the help of video analysis of the top players and analysis of their own training and matches. So once again, a very important thing is that the players are able to make their own analysis of their own technique and tactic, and also of the opponent's technique and tactics. Then a continuation of informing players about developmental tendencies in modern handball is also very important, that the players are acquainted with the informations how the handball is developed on the top level. What is important? What is characteristics for this kind of handball? Even if they get some informations, by the way, no, it's also very important that the experts explain them in which direction handball is developed. And also continuation of informing players about the main characteristics of the game of the most powerful teams. For example, France, Spain, Germany, Poland, Scandinavian countries, the Balkan countries, countries from other continents, so that the players must be able to distinguish a little bit now. What does it mean if they face, for example, Egypt or Tunisia, or I don't know, any other team from outside of the Europe, or Poland or Germany? What are the styles, differences? So at least we try to give them this simple information about that on this stage. From under 21, it is also very important that they get these informations. Okay, so it's all from my side. Thank you very much for attention. If there are some questions.
Thank you, Marko. Of course, there are some questions. You've answered plenty of them, of course, in your presentation, but there are some specific questions about Slovenia. How many under 15 teams are in Slovenia?
How many? Now, it varies a little bit now. It's from generation to generation, but there are approximately 30 last season in this. 20 boys, girls born 28, born 28. There are, I think, 36 teams which compete in the league competitions. Some approximately now team up or more, one or more. But it is interesting also because all these teams are first they compete in the groups. It is still regional competition, and then afterwards they best teams gather together. They have a quarterfinal, half-final tournaments, and that final tournaments in under 15 is extremely good. No, it's handball, which really it's nice to see also now.
One other organizational question is, how many friendly games do a team under 19 or under 21 play before the European or the World Championship?
I already mentioned that it is recommended that they play at least one tournament with 3-4 teams, and then at least 2 additional matches. These individual matches, let's say so. Mainly these matches are performed by the Croatia, Austria, Hungary. We have a good collaboration with these neighbor countries. Logistics is very easy. No problem with long travel and so on, but sometimes we also opted to go. I don't know. For us, it's very interesting. Also, Scandinavia. Germany, France, for a certain time, we have a good collaboration with France. So the France team came to Slovenia. Our teams go there, and then also Bosnia, Serbia. So these countries which are not too far away, and they have a good level of the handball.
How
so
important?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you can finish, of course.
No, so it means a tournament with, for example, 2-3 matches, and then 2-3 matches individual.
How important is the mental preparation? You've stated, you've said the mental preparation starts from under 17, under 19, of course, but how important is the mental preparation apart from the tactical and technical and, of course, physical preparation?
Very important. No, perhaps I focused a little bit more on this tactical part and motorical. No, because it's without once again, if you cannot run fast, if you cannot jump high, it's difficult to perform a good shot from the wing, for example. Now it is normal that when we try to find out the talents, we must focus on these things. No? But on the other side, more and more we see that also this kind of approach, holistic human approach, especially psychological, is very important. That players are individual, different. Also new generations are a little bit different. So this psychological preparation is very important. A lot of conversations with the players, raising up awareness of the importance of some things, how to plan the careers. Now, many boys and girls as well with the 17, 18, 19 years, then they say, oh, what to do now, or choose a study of the medicine. Now, then I cannot anymore focus so much on the handball. No, or what can I do now? For example, I can tell an example of the Gaspar Marguč. I mentioned he's also the student of the faculty of sport, but on the long distance. So he studies slowly, no? but he's extremely good professional player. So how to open this dual career also for the players, to give these young boys and girls also some kind of advices how their career will develop, you know, but not just in the handball, also in the after the handball, what they have to do that they will be successful in the handball and in their lives. Very important. No? It's extremely important.
Marko, the time is up. Thank you very much for your answers. Thank you very much for your presentation. And we will be back tomorrow with another lecture, another interesting webinar in the IHF Youth Coaches Education Week. It will start at 13 CEST, so like today. See you then. Have a nice Monday. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.